Public. If you're watching this video today, which is Feb 19, then you've got 1 night plus 1 day plus one more night left for the board exams. That's 2 nights left for the board exams. If you're watching it on 20th Feb, then tomorrow is your board paper. So all the best. This is a very quick doubt solving video. I had asked you guys to put up your doubts on my Instagram profile under that reel. And I've made a list of all your doubts. And I'm gonna quickly start addressing these. So before you write your literature paper, it will help you. So let me first tell you guys everything that I feel is important for you guys to know. I'm gonna try and keep it very precise, very short. So pay attention, okay? Now, who am I and what am I doing over here, or why should you listen to me? वो सबका time नहीं है मेरे पास. Like, if in case you're watching me for the first time ever, you either trust me or you don't. It's simple. It's a leap of faith. You either take this leap or you don't take the leap. You're gonna be good anyway, because I'm gonna wish you all the best anyway. All right. But these are a couple of things that I want to convey for your literature paper. If you have 1 day left, I would suggest don't look around for any kind of question answers, workbooks, guides, prelim papers. Don't do any of those things. Focus on reading the textbook. Now, my kids have been advised to do it all 3 days. Like, I'm only saying read the textbook, which after a while honestly gets a bit monotonous for the kids. So they start getting anxious. They want to know if अभी हमने जो पढ़ा है वो हमें आएगा कि नहीं आएगा, लिखने का कैसे है. So my kids have my notes. I'm sure you guys also have notes from school teachers or from other teachers or whatever. You have your notes. Trust those set of notes, okay? What you shouldn't trust are the workbook questions at this point, honestly, because none of the workbook questions are framed according to the boards, all right? To be honest, like, you go with Evergreen, you go with Beta Publications, you go with Arundeep, you go with anyone. Nobody frames questions the way board exams are going to be framing the questions. Again, you don't have to believe me. You will come to know when you come out of the exam center, all right? Why a textbook is important is because only if you know your content thoroughly, question कुछ भी पूछे life में तू answer कर पाएगा. Think of it this way: if I ask you a question about your childhood, about your life, your personal life, you'll be able to answer fluently, right? It's not like you're studying every day. It's because you know your life properly, you know your story properly. That's exactly how the boards work. If you know a story properly, it's a movie. A short story is a movie. A poem is a movie. It's a video. A play is a movie. If you know every aspect of the play properly, you'll be able to answer these questions. Reading about the author, about the poet from the textbook is important. Not the background of the poet per se, but what is said about the poem in that small box. That's important. All right. I have on my Instagram profile, if you go on the links over there, I've put up a link called English Ka Malpani, English Literature Ka Malpani. I've put in a lot of voice notes over there explaining all major dialogues, all major lines and doubts from poems and stories. So if you haven't seen that already, you can go in there, and these are individual voice notes. It also has the images of these underlined things that I feel you need to know from about the poet and about the author. And it also has a solution set of MCQs of prelim papers of major schools that I think are important. If you see things highlighted in pink, those are the most apt answers. Things highlighted in blue can also be the answers. Now, most of these questions have two possible answers. That's completely possible in school prelim papers and all the papers that you guys have been attempting or looking at on the internet. Because what happened is, when the syllabus changed, all these workbooks, they wanted to sell their content quickly, so they released these workbooks in the market, and they didn't know how the board questions are framed or how it will be framed. So, and they went with their interpretations. A person can interpret a poem in another way from what another person is attempting, right? So each poem can have multiple interpretations. So there's no fixed answer in ICSE now, and that's a good thing about ICSE. They accept all possible interpretations as long as the student is justifying or giving a plausible response to the question. So you're safe over there. I'm talking about poems like Haunted Houses or Glove and the Lions. The one most popular question is, and for you are sitting with the one for whom he sighed. Who is he over here? Is it the king? Is the king sighing for the woman? Is it the count? Because certain workbooks say it's the king, and then there are these logical arguments going around. Honestly speaking, if the question comes on the boards, both interpretations will be accepted, but it's the count, okay? The king has zero feelings for the woman. It's only the count, all right? So yeah, point is, Haunted Houses, narrators, what, like all of these I've what as in is a narrator, ghosty is not according to me, but I've given both interpretations, and I've cleared these doubts on my reels on Instagram, so I've already put them on, all right? So you guys can just scroll through and take a look at it. Now I'm coming to your questions. And oh, sorry, two more things. How to write answers, or sir, these open-ended questions are very difficult, or how to address these questions. Look, the first and the foremost thing that you need to unlearn from whatever you've learned in school until grade 8 is long answers are nice answers. That's not true with ICSE. You can keep your answers extremely short, but if you write everything to the point, the boards will give you full marks. All right, so a 3 mark answer, the common notion is 3 mark का आंसर है तो 6 लाइन लिख के, 4 mark आंसर तो 8 लाइन लिख के, ऐसा नहीं है. A 3 mark answer can get over in 2 sentences as well if you have covered all the key words. The points are not for the lines. The points are for the marks are not for the lines. The marks are for the points that you've written over there. So if for 3 marks they only ask you one question, where is the scene taking place, and you're like, the scene is taking place in Rome, or public street in Rome, believe me, you're gonna get full 3 marks. Don't think of trying to make the answer more elaborate by adding more points which are not relevant. The key to understanding whether you've written a perfect answer or not is when you read your answer, just the answer, are you able to interpret what the question is? So if I say the boy was wearing a white shirt, then the question should be, what colored shirt was the boy wearing? Or if I ask you his, if the statement says he was 600 years old, the question will be, how old was he? Right? So point is, or who was 600 years old, like it could be either. But my point is that when I read the answer, I should come to know the question. If I read a point in your answer where I have to be like, ये क्यों लिखा? You shouldn't be like, sir, actually मुझे सूझ नहीं रहा था क्या लिखना था, तो मैं लंबा लंबा करने के लिए लिख रहा था. No. Also, the same thing applies to the length where you're like, sir, I wasn't sure कि इतना ही लिखना है कि और भी लिखना है. Like, तो तेरे को अगर लग रहा है कि एक क्वेश्चन के 3-4 पार्ट्स थ्रू आउट द सीन स्प्लिट अप है, तो यू विल आइसोलेट ऑल दोज पार्ट्स and you will write it, like instances where Ajwa is showing love towards a grandmother. You have to like look for these instances through the story. That's why you need to know your content thoroughly. अगर content thorough होगा तो तू immediately सोच लेगा कि okay, Ajwa and ये, or with the photographer, instances where the photographer has been critical. So what all are these instances? कहाँ का उसने criticize किया, कहाँ का उसके behavior से he was rude towards the narrator. If you know your content, you will be able to isolate these things. फिर ये मत सोच के पर 3 ही मार्क का था, मेरे पास तो 10 पॉइंट बन रहे, तो लिखूं कि नहीं लिखूं. तेरे को सारे पॉइंट्स लिखने हैं, एक्सेप्ट इफ यू सी दैट अनदर क्वेश्चन में एक सिमिलर पॉइंट रिपीट हो रहा है. बोर्ड्स का फंडा बहुत सिंपल है. जो 5 क्वेश्चन आने वाले 3, 3, 3, 3 and 4, none of your keywords are going to repeat in other questions. It could have not, the same wouldn't have happened in prelim papers. School prelim papers में तेको लगा होगा कि सारे आंसर सिमिलर ही है. क्वेश्चन 1 का पॉइंट्स क्वेश्चन 5 में भी रिपीट हो रहे थे मेरे, तो इसलिए आंसर लेंदी हो गया. बोर्ड्स में ऐसा नहीं होता है. एक क्वेश्चन के जो कीवर्ड्स है वो दूसरे क्वेश्चंस में आएंगे ही नहीं. Speaking of keywords, how to write the answers? Are we supposed to write in direct speech or indirect speech? You are supposed to write in indirect speech only, but you're supposed to use the words from the textbook. So you're not supposed to use words like thou, shalt, thee and all that, but you have to use the words like drachma, or he was as constant as the northern star. So you have to use these words. The key words का मतलब होता है textual language. जितना textbook का language use करेगा. Now what, I'll give you a simple example. What does Brutus comment about Cassius to Lucilius? So Brutus tells Lucilius that Cassius is like a Lucilius has just described a hot friend cooling. Now these are keywords, full stop. Next line we will like, he says that there are no formalities and simple faith. अब देखो simple friendship लिखना, but देखो अगर faith याद है कि textbook में faith दिया था, तो you'll write simple faith only over there. That's a keyword. Then he says he compares Cassius to a horse who's hot at hand. So instead of writing a horse who's enthusiastic, you'll end up writing the keywords. A horse who's hot at hand. Who, when he faces a bloody spur, now battle के बदले तू bloody spur लिखेगा, like a deceitful jade, bows its crest and fails in crisis. These are keywords. But तू लिख रहा है indirect speech में, but use कर रहा है textbook की language. अगर मान ले तू भूल गया textbook का language, but तेको आंसर याद है, तेको याद है कि ये आंसर ये है, but मुझे textbook का language याद नहीं आ रहा, तो खुद के words में लिख के आ जा. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It might not work in your favor. Like you might not get 3 on 3. But यार boards is a funny affair. Okay, so तेरे को शायद chances हो कि the teachers might be like, you know, इस बार let's be lenient with the kids. It's the first year with JC. They are finding it difficult. Let's give marks if someone has also explained it in their own words. Chances are less likely for that to happen because जब कोई अपने words में लिखने की try करता है ना, answers elaborate हो ही जाता है. You have to think from the examiner's point of view. कि examiner दिन में जब 50-60 papers check कर रहा है, उसको टक 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 आंसर ऐसे सर्व करके देना है, देखो परोस के देना है. उनको आंसर अगर ढूंढना पड़ रहा है एक पैराग्राफ में कहीं ना कहीं, लाइक सर आगे तो बढ़ो, उसके बीच में मैंने आंसर कहीं घुसाया हुआ, that is not working in your advantage. So try and stick to keywords. Try and write in textual language. If you can't manage, then you can write in your own words. Then don't think कि आगे क्या हो सकता है, मुझे मार्क्स मिलेगा कि नहीं मिलेगा. सोच मतलब तेरे पास चॉइस ही नहीं था. Better to leave that's a better option than leaving something blank and coming. Also, old school of thought है ये, कहीं ना कहीं पेरेंट्स कान में डालते हैं कि बेटा कुछ नहीं सूझा ना तो कुछ भी ठोक के आ जा, बट तू लिख के आ, बस ब्लैंक छोड़ के मत आ. That's not true. ICSE समझ जाता है if a child is faking it. So just make sure that तेरे को आंसर्स प्रिसाइसली पता हो, ठीक है. MCQs की बात करते हैं. Also order of the paper, unlike language paper, order of the paper has to be in proper order. You have to start with the MCQs, leave lines between MCQs properly, and then you have to move on to the next section. Section A JC होगा most probably. अगर तो तेरे को 2 JC में से कोई भी एक अटेम्प्ट कर सकता है, 2 अटेम्प्ट कर सकता है. That's the next common question. माई सजेशन इज, अगर तेरा जेसी एकदम थरली हो गया तो अटेम्प्ट 2 जेसीज. क्यों? बिकॉज ऑब्जेक्टिव क्वेश्चंस होता है ना, तेरे को एकदम पता है व्हेन व्हाट व्हाई हु वेयर, एंड आएगा एक क्वेश्चन एक्सप्लेन दिस लाइन. तो एक्सप्लेन दिस लाइन वाला क्वेश्चन कैसे लिखने का? यू हैव टू राइट द इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ दैट क्वेश्चन. सो यू हैव टू से दैट हु सेज द लाइन, यू जस्ट डिस्क्राइब हॉट फ्रेंड्स कूलिंग. By the way, I'm sorry, I'm mixing two things. Someone asked me, sir, आपके notes में लिखा होता address and refer. Address and refer का meaning बहुत बच्चों को नहीं पता होता है. When I'm saying who are you addressing, that means who is being spoken to. And if I'm saying who are you referring, so it's who is being spoken about. So referring to is spoken about and addressing is speaking to. Okay. Then explain this line, hot friend cooling. Now when they say explain this line, hot friend cooling, you have to start with the context of the scene. So you have to be like, the following line is said by Brutus to Lucilius in Act 4 Scene 2. Lucilius has just told Brutus about how Cassius had treated him earlier, to which Brutus ends up saying, and then you explain the line, hot friend cooling. Then you have to dissect the lines. You can't just quote it and say it. So you have to write it in your own words. Another question is, sir, अगर मैंने आंसर keywords में किया, उसके बाद should I again simplify the answer and write it like आपने जो पहला वाला example दिया, उसमें should I now again add one more paragraph explaining the entire thing in my own words? No, you have to leave it at that. Keywords में ही करना unless they use the word explain. So मेरे हिसाब से तेरे को कल mental block के साथ जाना नहीं चाहिए, तेरे को open minded रहना चाहिए. You should read the paper in 15 minutes, and while reading, if you feel that मेरे को keywords गिनती पे है, चाहे वो poems हो, prose हो या JC हो, then you attempt whatever you are comfortable with. But if you feel कि poems में सर मेरे को लगा सारे keywords repeat हो रहे थे, मतलब मेरे को लगा बार बार घूम फिर के मैं वही lines लिखने वाला था, that is the case that happens in most poems. There's a lot of symbolism. So symbolism में problem क्या होती है, हम लोग inadvertently you end up writing longer answers and coming. That's why I don't agree with the concept of 2 poems, but I mean it's a recommendation. तेरे को लेना है ले, नहीं लेना मत ले, it's up to you. I personally feel that 2 prose और 2 JCs अगर attempt करता है तू, मतलब either attempt 2 JCs, 1 prose, 1 poem, or attempt 2 prose, 1 JC, 1 poem, that works in your favor because answers are very 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 straightforward. एक बॉक्स है, बॉक्स के अंदर ही कहीं ना कहीं कुछ तो आ रहा है, बट पोम्स में कभी कभी रीड बिटवीन द लाइंस वाले आंसर्स आ सकते हैं, which is where the problem happens. But if you feel that the poems were very straightforward, like there was a poem in last year's syllabus called 9 Gold Medals. It was such a simple tappa ball wala poem, मतलब nobody had thought that ऐसा poem आ सकता है, but boards में आया था, and it was such a straightforward question. मतलब ऐसा लग रहा था कि बस मतलब भगवान लव करता अपने को. ऐसा कल भी हो सकता है बिकॉज तुम लोग लवेबल लोग हो, तो अगर इजी आ गया देखो तो कर ले भाई, तू 2 पोम्स अटेम्प्ट तेरे ऊपर है. ओके, बट माय सजेशन इज 2 प्रोस. डू नॉट अटेम्प्ट एन एक्स्ट्रा क्वेश्चन. अब इसका मेरे पास कोई आर्ग्यूमेंट नहीं है. आई नो दैट सम पीपल टेल यू दैट दो पेपर्स दो करना, एक एक्स्ट्रा क्वेश्चन करके आ जा. हो आई हैव टू गॉट लॉट ऑफ मार्क्स व्हेन आई डू इट. व्हाट इज गाइस सेइंग ऑल दैट? डूड, यू हैव नॉट गिवन बोर्ड पेपर्स, सो डोंट ट्राई एंड एडवाइस people to do something that you are also not sure of because you've not given the papers. I am telling you, any teacher who's an examiner in the boards will tell you not to attempt an extra question. Okay, they are not going to check the extra question. So contrary to what you think, okay sir, they will take the best of all options. No, it shows that you don't have the ability to follow instructions, and B, it shows lack of confidence because you're not sure what option to go for. So try not to attempt an extra question. बहुत time लेके सोच शांति से तेरे कौन सा क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट करना है, एंड अल्टीमेटली देन गो विद दैट डिसीजन. ठीक है, आंसर्स जब तू लिख रहा है, माय एडवाइस वुड बी अंडरलाइन कीवर्ड्स. ओके, लाइक इफ यू आर अंडरलाइनिंग द कीवर्ड्स, राइट, द टीचर्स just focusing on those keywords. So in case you messed up the spelling somewhere, the teacher might ignore it. Honestly speaking, grammatical mistakes are mostly avoided in literature papers. They don't look at grammatical errors. But of course, if you've written the keywords wrong, like glove की spelling to GOV लिख के आ गया गलती से, तो तेरा चांस गया, फिर मार्क्स जाएंगे तेरे. जो एक्साइटमेंट में हम लोग गलत करके आते हैं. So make sure that you are very calm when you are answering. एकदम calmly करने का. शॉर्ट ही पेपर होगा. लेंदी तब होता है जब तू श्योर नहीं होता. हम लोग जब झूठ बोल रहे होते हैं ना, हम लोग ओवर एक्सप्लेन करते हैं. और जब हम सच बोल रहे होते हैं हम एकदम कर्टली आंसर करते हैं. ये वो वाली चीज है. अगर तू कॉन्फिडेंट हुआ ना अपने आंसर के साथ, तू कर पाएगा शांति से आंसर टू द पॉइंट, बट अगर तू कॉन्फिडेंट नहीं है तब जाके तू लंबे लंबे आंसर्स लिख के आएगा, ठीक है. नाउ आई एम starting with your literature doubts. I'll quickly cover it. I think 14 minutes are passed and I'm trying to keep this video under 20 minutes. Okay, so let's just do this. Why is it not a good idea to attempt 2 poems? I just explained. What is more likely to come in prose and poetry? Is Act 3 more likely to come? मैं already एक reel में भी बोल चुका हूँ, मैं short में भी बोल चुका हूँ. I know there are a lot of people on the internet who try to like lure you into believing कि ये करके जाओ, ये important है, ये important है. Then kids are also advising each other, ये important है. भाई तेरे को gambling करनी है ना, तू बाद में 10th के बाद stocks में पैसा लगा, वहाँ पे gamble कर. अब भी अपने life के साथ gamble मत कर. तेरे पास एक दिन है ना, मैं बोल रहा हूँ पढ़ ले भाई सब कुछ. हो सकता है प्रेडिक्शंस राइट हो लोगों के, बट क्या फर्क पड़ता है, तू मत कर. मेरे को करना होता तो मैं भी कर लेता प्रेडिक्ट, ओके. एंड मेरे प्रेडिक्शंस बाय द वे, तेरा कोई भी सीनियर अगर ये वीडियो देख रहा ना, ही विल support my answer. Whenever I have predicted something in the boards, it's always been true. Always, always. Whatever I say comes. But this year, even I'm not predicting anything because it's a new syllabus. It's the first time they're asking this. Also, if someone's laughing in the corner thinking, इसको पता नहीं है, first time थोड़ी आ रहा है, ये तो 2003 में भी आया था, 2017 में भी आया था. अरे तब का question pattern अलग था. So if you're finding these questions also in Oswal and other books where you're coming across JC questions, the way these questions were framed or the syllabus of JC was different back then. So do not go by that logic. Okay? What's more likely to come in prose and poetry is Act? I'm not going to answer that. So anything can come. Read everything and go. Sir, can I skip haunted houses if I've read it twice and if it's good, if I think I can answer the MCQs? Yes, you can. If you are confident कि तूने एक चैप्टर को ऐसे पढ़ा हुआ है कि अगर MCQ में आ गया तो तू आंसर कर पाएगा, तो you can skip something now. अगर तेरे को एक और बार पढ़ना नहीं है, तू irritated है उससे, तो क्यों? Because देख 5 MCQs आएंगे प्रोज के, 5 MCQs आएंगे पोम्स के, 6 MCQs आएंगे JC के. Each MCQ is going to be from one story. And each MCQ is going to be from one poem, and each MCQ will be like, actually JC में बता नहीं सकता कौन सा कहाँ से आएगा. But अब सपोज तूने हॉन्टेड हाउसेस स्किप किया है, तू करने वाला है आरटीसी, तो अटेम्प्ट ही नहीं करने वाला है हॉन्टेड हाउसेस का. तो एक एग्जांपल दे रहा हूँ, तो उस केस में 1 MCQ will be able to tackle and 1 RTC you are leaving legit, like you don't have to worry about losing marks at all. So in that case, you guys can make sure that you are skipping something and you're not focusing on that as much as you're focusing on other aspects. Okay? So that's completely up to you. How does interaction between Count and his lover serve as a resolution to the poem? Now these wale jo questions hota na, I'm not going to answer those because they are longer answers and you can honestly write whatever you want to write. If you understood the poem, then you can just write the poem, like significance based questions, or this question, how does the interaction between Count and his lover serve as a resolution? So you have to actually tell me what's happening in the poem. So I'll end up writing what the Count does for the woman, what the Count realizes, and how it encompasses the theme of the poem, like that, you know, vanity should not dictate your actions and it should be love that dictates your actions. So you just have to describe the event. Even if I ask you a significance of something, like what does the glove symbolize or signify, then you just have to write the glove is a symbol of love over here, she does it to test his love. It could also be construed that the glove is a symbol of bravery over here. So point is, everyone's going to write a different answer here. And the boards will accept the answer if you're giving evidence for answer. तेरा ये मंत्र होना चाहिए, तू जो भी लिखे ना, you have to write the evidence for it. Evidence from the textbook to support your theory. तू क्यों लिख रहा है? Because you are convinced about an answer. तो तू दूसरों के कहने पे मत लिख कुछ भी, तेरे को convince होना चाहिए, ठीक है? What to skip? I would suggest nothing. What is the meaning of bleed and sport in Act 3? अब ये वाली line मैंने actually explain की है. So all the lines I've explained in the voice notes, you can go through it. In the poem Haunted House is a person living as a ghost, so I've explained it. Explain the last stanza of I've explained it. Why does the narrator in the poem prose with the photographer feel the photographer is a natural scientist? I've explained it. I've actually taken those 4 lines and dim eye of a natural scientist. I've explained it. In the extract of Haunted House is referring to not having any title deeds. Does the present inhabitant not have title deeds or the past dwellers? No, the line actually means when they say we don't have title deeds, the entire verse is actually an irony, by the way, because initially they say we have no title deeds, right? Like, why not? Because we are eventually going to die. Like, no one can claim permanent ownership on something, like, because what's permanent? That it's going to be with us forever, but we don't have forever. We are going to die. And the irony is that after dying, we come to claim those lands because we hold them in mortmain. Mortmain is a legal term that says it cannot be, it's inalienable. It cannot be passed on to anyone else. So we believe that what we own is ours, but it's not ours because eventually we are going to die. So that's what it says. In the extract, which literary device is used in the sentence liberty, freedom, tyranny is dead? Tyranny is dead. Tyranny has been given the human quality of dying, so it's personification. तेरे को figures of speech अभी identify करने आना चाहिए, नहीं आ रहा तो immediately go to that reel of mine जहाँ मैंने सारे figures of speech बोले, apostrophe, personification सब कुछ समझाया वहाँ पे, and मैंने एक और reel डाला हुआ how to deal with figures of speech वाला question. मैं मस्त आदमी हूँ, मैं तुम लोगों ने बहुत कुछ किया है भाई, अभी उसको knowledge को use करो थोड़ा. Stop panicking. Alright, so just shanti se go through everything. What is the significance of Caesar's ghost? It's a reflection of Brutus's own guilt. That's why he says, I'm thy evil spirit. So uska khud ka guilt hai that he's seeing. Projection of his own guilt. How insightful should an answer be? If I'm asking you, are you coming to the party tomorrow? And you are talking about your childhood. That's irrelevant, right? Like, so just simply tell me aa raha hai, nahi aa raha, aur nahi aa raha to kyun nahi aa raha. That's how insightful an answer should be. Jitna पूछा है उतना आंसर करने का, deeper meaning में नहीं घुसने का, ठीक है? Attempting extra question, not a good idea. What do you think Brutus could see? Because he's the one who's guilty, he feels guilt. So that ghost is his guilt. Who was more powerful, dead Caesar or alive Caesar? Caesar, I can go with both sides right now and explain the answer to you and give you evidence for it. And that's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. You can write whatever you want and you'll get marks for it. Is the pedestrian a scientific story or a horror story? It's both. It's a scientific horror story. Is the with the photographer humorous story or satire? It's satirical also, and it's also a humorous story. Why can't it be both? So it can be both. Both Caesars in their own way were powerful. So you can also go with that option and explain it. So you can explain whatever you want as long as you're convincing the teacher with your answer and with evidence to support your answer. Literary devices for all stories and poems of JC, I've covered it already. What you need to know besides these are all your questions, but I'll tell you what you need to know. You need to know the themes of the story. There are multiple themes to each story and each poem. So go with each of, you can write whatever theme you want to as long as it's addressing different parts of the poems. So the themes changes, like there are multiple themes, right? You need to know the tone of each story. So I've made a list of the tones for you. I'll quickly just tell you the tones so you have it with you. Glove and the Lion, the tone is tense and dramatic. Power of Music, the tone is, by the way, what's a tone? Tone is a writer's attitude towards something, right? So the tone of Power of Music is humorous and satirical. Entire poem is, by the way, a major hyperbole. Considerable Spec is contemplative. He's thinking, he's writing, contemplative, reflective, empathetic. He feels empathy towards this might. Haunted Houses is nostalgic because what you are construing as ghost could be memories of the one he's lost that he's thinking about. So it's nostalgic and contemplative. When Great Trees Fall is emotional and poignant. It's sad, so poignant is very emotional and very sad. So those are your tones. Prose, with the photographers, humorous and satirical. Pedestrian is eerie. Foreboding. Foreboding is when you get a sense of something disastrous that's happening or going to unfold. Elevator is suspenseful, mysterious. Last Lesson is reflective, somber, regretful because there's regret at not learning their own language. Girl Who Can is empowering, and it's also social commentary or a social criticism on traditional outlook on how girls should be perceived. Ana, usse girl Who Can se yaad hai, in the competency based questions that you guys look at, right, जो ICSE का है, उसमें आंसर की दिया है, बट उसमें भी मल्टीपल आंसर्स पॉसिबल होते हैं. तेरा फिगर्स ऑफ स्पीच में अगर एक में दो पॉसिबल आंसर्स है तो है. बोर्ड्स में अगर ऐसा हुआ तो दोनों आंसर्स का मार्क्स मिलेगा. यू विल गेट बेनिफिट ऑफ डाउट, तो डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट. कॉम्पिटेंसी बेस्ड क्वेश्चन में एक और क्वेश्चन है टॉकिंग अबाउट अजवाज नैनीज एटीट्यूड, नानाज एटीट्यूड, एंड मैं नानी बोला दिमाग में. So Nana's attitude, and it is patriarchal and authoritative, and people often wonder, but so isn't she a matriarch? She is a matriarch. The entire society and setting is matriarchal, but her outlook, her approach towards Ajwa's school or Ajwa's legs, or how a woman's job is only to bear children, that is a patriarchal mindset, a narrow-minded man's mentality. So that's that. I think I've covered everything, guys. मैं एक simple बात बता रहा हूँ, देख. मेरे को कोई फॉलोअर काउंट का कुछ मोह माया नहीं है. आई एम नॉट अ कंटेंट क्रिएटर, आई एम नॉट एन इन्फ्लुएंसर. तेरे को अनफॉलो करना है करते हो, नहीं फॉलो करना है मत कर. बट कुछ देर के लिए इंस्टाग्राम पे जान, मेरे सारे रील्स को स्क्रॉल कर, बिकॉज इट्स एजुकेशनल कंटेंट. आई हैव कवर्ड ऑल पॉइंट्स फॉर यू इन दैट. फिर अनफॉलो कर दे, तेरे काम का नहीं है वो पेज वैसे भी तो. बट जितना मैंने करवाया ना वो काम का है, उसके अलावा कुछ काम का नहीं. इफ यू कम अक्रॉस रिडिकुलस क्वेश्चंस, गाइस, आई एम टेलिंग यू एट दिस पॉइंट, गेटिंग इनटू कॉन्वर्सेशंस, इसका आंसर क्या हो सकता है, इसका आंसर, उसमें मत घुस, तू अपना कंटेंट पावरफुल कर। कंटेंट वाला इतना थर होना चाहिए, देखो पता होना चाहिए कौन सा लाइन किधर आ रहा है, कौन सा लाइन किधर से। अगर मैं देखो लाइन बोलता हूँ एग्जाम में कि इधर से क्या आ रहा है, यू शुड बी एबल टू लोकेट, ये टेक्स्ट बुक के राइट साइड पे ऊपर के पैराग्राफ में ये सेंटेंस आता है, देन थिंक, हैव यू अंडरस्टूड द कॉन्सेप्ट। ऑल्सो ऑल ऑफ माई advice is only for people who have actually understood the concepts। इस पॉइंट पे अगर कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं आता तो बस मैं प्रे करूंगा तेरे लिए, और क्या ही बोल सकता हूँ। तो एंड दैट्स इट, इट्स गोना बी ऑसम। मैं तेको सच्ची बता रहा हूँ, दैट्स अनदर थिंग दैट पीपल हैव बीन आस्किंग। मेरे को नहीं पता क्या आने वाला है, बट मैं तेको बता, इट्स लाइक व्हाट ब्रूटस टेल्स कैशियस, that we don't know what the outcome of the war is going to be, but we know that the day will end, right? उतना पता अपने को। वैसे ही मुझे भी नहीं पता कि आने क्या वाला एग्जाम, और मुझे ये पता है कि किस टाइप की चीज आने वाली है। एंड इट्स गोना बी सो ऑसम कि कोई ना कोई एक बंदा ना गलती से शायद सीटी वीटी मार देगा या बेंच के ऊपर खड़े रह के नाचने लगेगा, लाइक सब मस्त होने वाला है। तू मेरे को आके ना ऐसा हक करेगा ना एकदम टाइट वाला, और बोलेगा सर मतलब मजा आ गया, चुम्मेश्वरी विसल फोड़ू पेपर गाइस, लाइक इट्स दैट्स व्हाट्स गोइंग टू हैपन, ठीक है? जस्ट बिलीव इन योरसेल्फ, रीड द कंटेंट इज ऑल आई वुड से। आंख बंद कर दे, क्वेश्चन आंसर्स इस पॉइंट पे नहीं होना चाहिए, सबका टाइम चला गया, अभी मत देख, अभी सिर्फ कंटेंट पढ़ते जा, दैट्स इट। ऑलराइट, लव यू गाइस, टेक केयर। ए लाइट चला गया भाई, लाइट चला गया, क्या फालतू की, बट रिकॉर्ड तो हो रहा ना, ठीक है? चल, लव यू, बाय।